I was watching a British YouTuber after England got knocked out, and what got me thinking wasn't his tactical breakdown, it was the vocabulary. Things like, here we go again, same old England, we always find a way to lose. And I froze because I've heard that exact same sentence before, just in Spanish. You see, growing up in Mexico, every World Cup, family gets together, everyone's thrilled, yelling at the TV, someone's already making carne asada, like we've already won something, and then the first thing goes wrong and somebody says, ya valió. Aquí viene lo de siempre. Jugamos como nunca, perdimos como siempre, which basically means we played like never before and we got eliminated as usual. Everyone nods, and basically, we're watching the ending before it happens, just like a group of psychics who only predict disappointment. Fast forward, I'm watching England doing the exact same beat this World Cup, just different language. Same script, same national talent for narrating your own demise before it's confirmed. Then you have countries like Argentina. All right, I will give it to you guys. Argentinians can be a lot, yes. And I say this with love and also from a safe distance. Half of Latin America spends every World Cup quietly rooting against them. They are loud, they are provocative. They'll mention they'll have 3 World Cups before you finish saying hello. Romper las pelotas, which basically means busting your chops, isn't an expression over there. It's just a lifestyle. Sometimes it's hilarious. Sometimes I'm watching a clip thinking, guys, read the room. But, and I want to be fair here, they're also doing something right. When Argentina went down a goal, their fans didn't spiral. They didn't start drafting the eulogy. They just kept chanting like a comeback was inevitable. And guess what? We saw them coming from behind this World Cup more than once. And I think that's a good contrast to other countries where like their team starts going down and people lose faith and they just start getting impatient or angry with the players. Argentinians will be super loyal to their team till the end. They just believe. They just believe they will turn this around somehow. Does that alone win football matches? No. Talent matters, coaching matters, player development matters, but players are human. If 70,000 people genuinely believe you're about to pull this off, that has to do something. I found a comment from a Mexican fan that stopped me cold. He said essentially, I've accepted that Mexico will never beat the big football countries. Now, that's not a football opinion, that's eulogy for expectation. He wasn't talking tactics, he was talking identity. He'd basically decided, on behalf of an entire country, this is who we are. It is heartbreaking and also extremely relatable at 2 a.m. for reasons unrelated to soccer. Okay, Somewhere in here, I found a tweet arguing that the reason that so much of Latin America dislikes Argentina is that Argentina refuses to lower its head. I don't fully agree. Confidence and arrogance aren't the same animal. Confidence says, I believe in myself. Arrogance says, I am better than you. And I'd like you to know it before, during, and after this conversation. But this tweet did make me ask something uncomfortable. Have some of us confused humility with just expecting less from ourselves? England's story sounds like, please, don't break our hearts again. Mexico's story sounds like, hopefully, this time will be different. Argentina's story sounds like, obviously, we're going to win. Why are we even discussing this? None of those are objectively true, but I wonder, does enough of a country believing a story make that story more likely? I wrote that question down and I was very proud of it. Then the final happened, and the universe, with impeccable comedic timing, decided to answer me. Spain won, Argentina lost. And within about 12 hours, my entire feed turned into one long, extremely well attended pylon. Not for losing, but for how they carry themselves the whole tournament leading up to it. Because remember all that confidence I was just romanticizing? The singing, the swagger, the of course we're going to win. Turns out belief is not the same as entitlement, and the internet had been waiting weeks for permission to say so. And look, I'll admit it, watching that pylon was a little satisfying, not because I have beef with Argentina personally, but because for a full month, they've been dishing out the exact energy they are now getting served back to them. And there's something deeply, almost spiritually human about watching someone eat their own cooking. Meanwhile, and I promise you this is relevant, you've got countries like Norway raising kids on Jantas law, which is basically a cultural operating system built around you're not special, please sit down. Then you have England and their self deprecating humor as a personality trait. It's the exact opposite instinct from Argentina's. Honestly, Argentina reminds me way more of the US than the rest of Latin America. It's the same where number one default setting, same confidence that reads us charming to some people and insufferable to everyone else, which might explain why Americans and Argentines recognize each other's energy so fast, and why the rest of the world finds it exhausting at roughly the same rate. Living in New York, the World Cup is one of the only times a month I feel fully plugged back into Mexico, the rest of the world, family WhatsApp exploding after every goal, texting my brother all in caps over nothing, wearing my Mexican jersey and American jersey around Williamsburg, random strangers yelling Viva Mexico at me on the street. I guess football is just the excuse and belonging is the actual game. So maybe the real question was never why does England keep losing, or even why did Argentina lose the final? Maybe it's what does your country tell itself, and separate but related, what story do you tell yourself? Because Whether it's football, your career, or your actual life, the stories we repeat eventually become the stories we live in. The World Cup ends every 4 years, and that question doesn't. Please let me know what you think. Join the conversation at the Inner Designer podcast on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, social media in general, Spotify, and you know the drill. Thank you and speak soon. Ciao.